Did you seriously think you could somehow change the world from here?
Yeah, sort of at first.
And? How do you feel about it now?
I'm not blazing with satisfaction or anything. But the truth is, it all ended for me the instant I shared my memories with you. At that point, when my work was done, I figured that you'd probably be able to run with it from there.
Of all the... You're a hell of a liar, kid. I clearly recall you didn't want me involved.
I'm sorry, but the minute you share and synchronize all your information, you lose your uniqueness and become absorbed into the unconscious maliciousness of a third party that has no motive. Or perhaps into the will of someone who does have one.
Are those your words based on what you've gained from hard-earned experience?
Yes, and the fact is, you yourself play the role of the laughing man copycat as well.
Well, I have to admit, it was a fascinating phenomenon. At any rate, what was your underlying reason for triggering such a huge event in the first place?
To you, everything that's happening in the world appears phony to be something other than what it is, right?
Is that J.D. Salinger?
Yes. When it comes to cyberization, I'm pretty much the shining example of a poster boy. So you'd think at the very least I would have felt terrified at the thought of contracting cyber brain sclerosis. I'll tell you, it was a simple piece of mail I stumbled across the net that began this whole thing. What I found was a blackmail document that had probably been sent to Serrano Genomics. It was armed with a thesis that was a comparative study of the inadequacy of Serrano micromachines versus the effectiveness of the Pervs vaccine.
Then the original lagging man was the person who authored it?
You could put it like that, I suppose. I am the machine that reveals the world to you as only I alone am able to see it.
See the Flatten. He was a Russian filmmaker, wasn't he?
Yes. I was kidding myself by thinking it was my personal mission to prove and circulate that information, vital data I alone could happen upon.
Failing spectacularly, the pure innocent mediator proved dejected at the base nature of the social system and he turned mute.
Yes, it was because of that I became the vanishing mediator. Just like an author whose existence is emphasized with the fact that he rarely puts out any new works of publication. In other words, by disappearing, it acts as a catalyst of the social system. For sociological theory, it ultimately vanishes, leaving no trace of its presence inside or outside the system.
Frederick James, I believe.
Yes, and no. Masachi Osawa too. Even though I was familiar with the words, I didn't believe it until I saw it with my own eyes. Who knew that copies could still be produced despite the absence of an original? If you had to give a name to this phenomenon, what would you label it?
It would be standalone complex.
Yes, it's the standalone complex. From the start, the very nature of our current social system has contained mechanisms to trigger such an amazing occurrence. Personally, however, I feel this marks the beginning of a new era of despair. What's your opinion?
I don't know. It's impossible for me to say. Although I have found one thing capable of restoring your individuality after all your information has been synchronized.
Oh, really? And what's that?
Everyday human curiosity.
You're right. You know, that's something that never occurred to me. I think my brain has already started to harden.
Did you seriously think you could somehow change the world from here?
Yeah, sort of at first.
And? How do you feel about it now?
I'm not blazing with satisfaction or anything. But the truth is, it all ended for me the instant I shared my memories with you. At that point, when my work was done, I figured that you'd probably be able to run with it from there.
You're a hell of a liar.
All right, freaks, here we go with another crazy shit. Sorry, I had things confuzzled. I wasn't able to like send links out for some reason. I don't know what was happening. My computer thing's stupid. So here we go. We'll be talking more about that. We have a couple guests. If there's anybody who wants to join us, StreamYard link is up there. If you're a flat earther, join us and come talk about flat earth with us.
Microchips in over chicken pot fries, launching himself in his lawn chair, proving the earth was flat. Microwaving.
Thank you all for being here. Throw the thumbs up. In the side chat and hang out with us. We're gonna go over a bunch of idiocracy today, just like we always do. So I hope you all are ready for this bullshit. In a minute, I will post a thing about how to get me more drunk. If you want to see me scream drunk, we'll be posting the PayPal up there soon. And we'll see how fun this is. Coming over and talking about Flat Earth. Which is, you know, my favorite subject to talk about, obviously. If there's anybody in the guests or behind the scenes backstage that wants to send anybody a link, go ahead and send it to them, please. Like I said, it's not letting me send links for some reason.
So to keep from getting that big bad flu, she sprinkled cat urine into her eyes. With garlic cloves in her nostrils and dryer sheets taped to her head. Burying, contrarian is now stinking up a hospital bed.
If you don't know who this is Primus, obviously. Check out their new album they just came out with, which is all this kind of stuff. It's so much fucking fun. All their albums. In just a second, we will get going over here.
Can lead a
Horse to water, but you cannot make him drink.
You can guide a fool to logic,
But you can't make him think.
be wary of conspiranoia, as purveyors abound. For an open mind to open spills in contents on the ground.
Primus is never going to hear this, but thank you for letting us use your music. They usually, I don't think we've ever been copyright struck by Primus, so thank you for letting us use your music over and over again. You rock. This is just getting us all in the mood for being able to go over the idiocracy we're about to go over. So here's our palate cleanser, our pre-palate cleanser for what we're about ready to hear. And here are all the different conspiracies you can look up on your own discretion. And all of these are real conspiracies. We've looked up all of these. Me and Micro, we've gone over all of them behind the scenes. So they're all very, very interesting. I'm so mad I can't send out stuff, but I want to send it to a couple other people. And it's just not letting me copy and paste right now for some reason. Hey Danish, if you want to join us, there's the StreamYard link at the top. Anybody who wants to join us, the StreamYard link is at the top. So I will be right back and we will get this shindig started.
She died of a COVID booster shot.
I know you want to join us, Danish. Come on, it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be very, very silly.
Which leads us to chemtrails. Scientists and governments are seeding the atmosphere, implementing biological warfare.
Okay, Danish.
And geoengineering a race of superhuman Jews.
You're probably going to get so upset at what you're seeing, you're probably going to want to jump on anyways, Danish. But we'll see. We'll see. Did somebody send one to Mama? If we haven't sent one to Mama, please send one to Mama.
Infiltrated the Bush family, Margaret Thatcher, Bob Hope, and the British Royals, among others.
JFK Jr. is alive and well. He did not die of Martha's Vineyard in 58 years after his father's assassination, to announce that he'll be Donald Trump's running mate.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Europe is not a sphere, and evidence has been faked or suppressed to hide the fact that it is instead a disk or a single infinite plane. GPS devices are rigged to make aircraft pilots wrongly believe that they are flying around the globe.
And that's exactly what we're going over today. Thank you.
The campfire in California
destroyed over 153,000 acres, 18,000 structures. If it was caused by foreign power, why didn't we listen to witnesses? Do you really believe fires also burn the areas projected 77%?
Paranoia. Conspiranoia.
As I know, now that the evidence is right in front of our faces. Jewish space lasers.
Jewish space lasers. All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Crazy Shite. And if you have not seen the first episode of this, it doesn't really fucking matter because you're just going to see the same kind of crap you're going to fucking see whenever we do any of this crap for the thingies and bobbers of the stuffs. All of their ideologies are all the same. All of their talking points are all the same. All of this is something that's nothing new to any of us. So we're just going to keep pushing on through, I'm going to say idiocracy like a gazillion and a half times before we get to that. And actually, I want to play one thing. I'm bringing in our guests first, but I have something to show us before we get to. Thanks everybody for the thumbs ups and all the things of the mabobbers for the stuffs and the things. So I'm going to bring in our guests on the panel right now. I'm going to start with, of course, our
clever girl.
Our Micro. How are you doing, love?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing wonderful, except for that I keep remembering about the subject we're about to go over, and I'm like, fuck, I don't really want to do this, but we have to go over this stuff because I know there's 100 million other people that do, but we have to go over this anyways. Just son of a beach, we have to do it. So let me bring in our next guest, which is...
Some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
Yes, I guess you're right.
And there is our brainless. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Awesome. Sweet. Okay, so our next guest, we still have not gotten one for just because...
They're too awesome.
Well, yeah, that and I still can't figure out how to do it from what I wanted to do from Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil, or whatever. But supposedly, Mango and I are working on making that work. So. Yes. So, yes. And then, how are you doing, love?
I'm all right, I guess. Sore than a whore on Valentine's at the moment, but I'll do. Kind of overdid it at the weekend.
Yeah, that's what we heard. So, yeah, been there, done that. I got the t-shirt. So, yes. Well, hopefully we cause a bunch of jovialness with us going over the silliness of what we're about ready to hear out of actual grown adults' mouths. So
adults? What are those?
I mean...
Well, obviously they're over 21, and I can't believe some of these people believe in any of this being older than that. But hey, I don't blame their parents, their family, the education system, or their mental disorders not taken care of. But no, we won't talk about that until we get to it. But let's bring in our last guest as of right now, and I know there'll be more people. How are you doing, Beck?
Hey, buddy, I'm good. How is
Awesome.
everyone?
Pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good.
Awesome.
I am.
It's not like that. Like except for Slim, we've all just come from the same voice chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
We're
both
trying
been
to
talking
each
to
other
each
right
other.
now, right?
It was a full house on the in the dungeon.
Yes. So if you don't know what we're speaking about, ask somebody in Discord to be invited to the dungeon, and if you are special enough, then you will get invited in. Most likely, you're going to get invited. So yeah. But if you want to know what we're speaking about, please join us in there, and we play games, we watch videos, we watch movies, we go over some of the content that we go over in these streams as well. Sometimes before Queen and I actually will watch videos with the community first and ask, should we do this as a stream, and or do you want to be part of it or something like that, or look more into it, like Vila, Mango, and a couple other people were like, hey, look more into this a little bit, and then we have more substance when we come on to these thingy-mabobbers. So anyways, let's blow on to getting into our subject. But before that, I have to do this because some of these people do like to try to claim we're copying their crap. There's our disclaimer. It's all for commenting, criticism, blah, 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 fair use. This is all for fun and games and for creating content that does not make us money. So I will be posting the PayPal again up there. $5 gets me to do a swig of vodka if you want to see me get more drunk. But we really just do this for no amount of money. And then before I actually start the thingamabobber, we have to always play this.
Wait a second. Are you a flat earther?
No.
And of course, we are not, but
Wait a second. Are you
there is my lover. And of course,
Queen.
Hello.
You're right, sweetie.
I would be on camera, but I'm eating dinner, so
that's fine, mate. That's fine.
I literally just got home, made dinner. I would be on camera, but I'm eating dinner.
Somebody, there's an echo somewhere.
Yeah, it's me. Sorry, my bad.
No worries, baby cheeks. As long as we
My bad.
get it.
Why did this not change? Change
Well,
avatar.
Why are you?
Bastard.
I was gonna say, why are you
Oh, that
using
one's
that? There we go. That's
I don't
way
know.
better.
Because I can't
of
delete
course-
it. It won't let me.
Okay, and of course, bringing in our queen. Here we go.
She truly is a queen today.
There's our intro for our lovely queen. Yes. Let's get into the silliness of the things and stuff. Why not?
All right, so what are we doing?
Sorry.
I'm lost.
Sorry. We are going to be watching a little bit more of Flatten the Curve documentary that we were going over last week. Were you here last week, baby cheeks?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, like I said earlier in this stream, it does not matter because of the way that they tell stories or fake tell stories or whatever. You're not lost. You're not going to be lost. As soon as we start, it's just stupidity after stupidity.
Well, Slim, you say you won't be lost, but like after them 5 minutes talking, you're lost.
Yeah, no, you'll be lost in that, but it's not like we're following a story that you're not going to like understand it.
No.
Right.
After the first 10 seconds of us watching this is what we're all going to say.
You're stupid.
Yeah. And hello, everybody in the side chat. I have missed you, and I love you all.
And speaking of that devil, I should probably go over the side chat. Sorry. Hey, Super Ghost. Yes, the music. Yes, the first song that you heard was of something I produced. We have the Skits Crasher here. We have a J Troy. We have the Delicious Danish.
Delicious Queen Danish. We're both queens.
Yes. which we asked her to come in, but she said she doesn't want to for whatever. No, I'm just kidding. Then Glober Mom, she's working on.
Mom.
She's working on her
Danish
theme.
isn't coming with me? How rude.
I know. Mama's working on stuff, so hopefully she'll be in here later. And then, of course, the Harry Warp. So if there's anybody in the side chat that wants to say hello to us. Oh, sorry, in the Sydney. Hello, everybody. If there's anybody in the side chat who we've not said hello to, please just message us and say hello to us. Yeah, and I'm on the same page with you. We want Linda to come as well.
Yeah.
But that's up to her discretion, of course, consent. So what I want to do is I want to play something right quick from MC Toon about one of our if you have not been in the scene for very long, you may not know who this young lady is, but I wanted to play this right quick just to have a little bit of fun getting us into talking about Flat Earther. Nope.
Oh.
She is an old school female Flat Earther besides Orphan Red. But she does something very, very interesting when MC Toon or when just watch.
Be right back. I need more food.
Sure, baby.
5 a.m.
No, it's fine.
What happened?
Line unmuted.
Up so late or so early? Are you opening a bakery out there? What's happening?
Oh no, it's just my Skype number.
Kind
I'm
of
in
quiet,
Minnesota.
bro.
Okay, is it quiet?
How'd you get a UK?
Yeah, it's kind of quiet. Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted
He's
a number
not,
in the UK.
but what he's watching.
You don't know. It's kind of a big deal. I'd love a UK Skype number. I can't get that.
It costs the same.
Okay, that's
So-
about as high as I can get the
Country where your
volume on
Skype is
that.
from?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's better.
you
Thank
could do
you.
it too.
All right, we'll roll with it.
Yeah.
You've never called in before, though, obviously.
No, I've never. Nope.
All right, so what's happening?
But we met briefly, very briefly before in 2019 in Dallas. I mean, we just passed in the hallway at the convention.
It's definitely
cool.
brief.
That's great. Wonderful.
Yeah, I was there.
They interacted a little bit more than that, but it's okay. It's okay.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know if I'd get a warm welcome here or not.
Uh-oh.
Just wait. Why he thought that?
Because
Just
you
wait.
know me as MC Toon.
I know this name.
Karen knows. Hi, Karen.
You should know that name.
Hi. All right. So I'm not trying to troll. Okay.
Bye.
And I can't.
Yeah, that's the guy who was.
Is that the guy that was in chat?
Yeah, they want to date. He's been begging to come on the show, and so he sent all his goons. He ruined my live chat. I'm not having it. You don't want to talk to that guy.
Oh no, I wasn't going to talk to him, but
Sorry.
I'm more curious how he got a UK Skype number.
Well, trolls do stuff like that.
That's so weird. So was this guy?
No, it's
this was one of the
not.
people, if I'm not mistaken, that attended the Dallas conference and was trying to interview people in the lobby, maybe, or was with part of a. There were several troll groups at Dallas. They were hanging out. Whatever. I'm sorry, your live chat was getting.
I don't know.
He came in with a couple other people, and they asked her a couple questions. That is all that happened, and she said they ruined her freaking live chat. No, honey, that is not how that fucking happened. You had in a live stream, you had a couple people that came in to ask a couple questions about the globe, the flat Earth, blah blah blah. And you blew up because you thought you were getting taken over because you are what? Self-centered bitch. The only reason I'm going to call her that right off the bat right now is because when you hear what she calls all of us and says about all of us, I should have called her way more hardcore things than that. But anyways, let's keep blowing on.
Well, the bottom line is she doesn't have answers, so she gets mad.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, and then listen to her excuse for all of this. And which is even funnier is Schitt's Crasher is right here. And right. We have our other friend NANA, Chris Hoffman. I know him as well. So what's funny is there are I think I know them as well. The CPAC Q57.
Yeah.
Right?
And Mandelbrot set. I know Mandelbrot set.
Yeah, exactly right
Brenda.
here. I think we know most of these people. Literally.
At least
I think Micro at least knows most of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's probably that.
That
So
could
that's
be-
MC Tunes.
that could be
That's
MC Tunes, yeah.
So sorry, that
Mhm.
is MC Tunes chat. If we look over
Yeah.
to the right, that is their own chat. So that makes sense. Sorry, I didn't mean to, but still, we know 33. Oh, I don't know if I know them.
He's a blood item. 33 is a blood
I don't know
item.
any of them.
Yeah, I thought so. But we know Laurie, we know them, and I think we know a couple other people in their chat as well. But it's just funny. So listen to what she says right after she boots him.
You know, let me just tell you, Globy, something. You guys are nothing without us. You're nothing. Okay. And we know that. And we know that you need to come here and you need to troll our chats. You need to try to sabotage our.
So trolling is when you come into somebody's side chat and you ask questions while expecting like proper answers. And most of us go in there and we do not talk shit first. Right?
Sweetie, we don't need you. We are thinking it's
And of
funny.
course-
But hon, we don't need you.
So let's use the example of like Creaky Blinder. He used to only do Flat Earth, and then he moved on to Sovereign Citizen, right? Doesn't he not do Flat Earth anymore? He does other things. There's other content creators who have changed
he
what
does.
they.
He does like soft sits. He does Karen videos. He does a little bit of Flat Earth and
But it's not our
Young
main
Earth creationists as
sure,
well.
Sure. And even Simon Dan does not only do Flat
No.
Earth, he does other stuff. All of us content creators, technically, we do when somebody says something crazy, that's when we fucking do something, right? When a flat earther says something weird, crazy, silly, we call it out. When a sovereign citizen does it, when somebody in QAnon does it, when people in the government, whatever, we call out people who say something weird.
Yeah.
Just because y'all have said a crap bunch of weird crap that we have to like keep calling out constantly, because you can't let some of this stuff go. Like literally when they're like,
No,
did
because there's
anybody
people out there that aren't very intelligent, and I'm not picking on them, but they're
But they
easily
get-
swayed because they're not educated and they're out in the woods or whatever their deal is, or they live in a poor area, and then they listen to this shit and they believe
and they
it.
fall for it.
And that's a problem.
Yeah, and that's why we're trying to not convince anybody to not be one, but to get you before you become one. And that's what we're trying to do with this. Like CC the other day, he bought a little astro projector thingy bobber, and he set it in the middle of a room and was like, "See, this is how the fucking dome works. They're projecting the lights from the earth into the fucking dome." It's like, no, motherfucker, that's not how this works. The fucking moon can't work like that. It can't be a projected light. It has to have light that's bouncing off of it, and it's not its own light source or being lit by something to make it a lit object or an object, a
That's
fake
not how
object
this-
that's just light.
Also,
how
does
That's
that
not
work?
how this
With
works.
the
That's not how
projector?
any of this works.
With the
Exactly.
projector, you actually see the light stream going upward.
True. Yeah. If you were going through clouds, if you're going through atmosphere, if you're going through this,
Like,
you're going through that.
The amount of light it would take to project something of the moon's size and luminosity,
Yeah.
it
doesn't-
would literally make an eternal day because of the sheer amount of light that is going up there to create that. It's impossible. If you're going to do something like that, it would have to be from sky down. And even then, how would that work? How would they actually make all of that equipment and maintain it and do everything involved with it and make sure it's running constantly, repair
Well,
work
that's something that God
constantly?
does.
Okay.
No, just no.
Exactly. That wouldn't work, except for if it was the Illuminati, and the Illuminati would get it to work. You know what I'm saying? Never mind. Anyways, let's keep blowing on, because we want to hear her cuss us out. That's why we're watching this, is because she's about ready to do something very, very nasty towards all of us watching and listening, except for maybe a couple people.
shows because you guys aren't without us. And you know that we aren't giving you any attention because we know you're nothing but a time waster. And we know you have nothing but the same old tired arguments that we have debunked over and over and over again. You are nothing. You are small fish. You are a waste of time. You are not worth it. Go somewhere else. Okay? That's all I got to say about that. Like, seriously. Do you really think that we put this show on every week? We come here and we do Strange World so that we can talk to fucking globies who lie and defend lies all the time? Like, we've been doing that for years. We're done with that. So done. Just done. Okay? You guys have your own channel. You guys have your own little bullshit that you want to do. Go find some other sucker who wants to let you waste their time and just go away. You're not going to use my channel to get yourself famous. Okay? I'm not going to do it. Just go somewhere else.
Defending the truth is never a waste of time.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. Some people will just never get it. So then technically,
no, you're right. They will never get it. But the truth is the truth, no matter what. And you don't just let people believe lies, right? You will always defend the point of the truth, actual fact. Especially when you're like, to the extent these people believe is wrong with the world. The fact that they say, oh, you're not worth it anymore, we don't care. And lumping in people that have been into it for years to anyone that may be open-minded to change as well. All I say is, like, if you actually believe that, the earth is flat, and that there's all this bullshit going on, you would do whatever it takes to try and help convince these people. It doesn't matter if you're defending the same point the 30th time. You would do it. Because you're trying to actually make sure people understand the truth and fact. The fact that they can't be bothered with it means that they just want to live in an echo chamber and not have any of their points, like, debunked, debated, any of it. Like, they just want to hear yes. Oh, you're so smart. Yes.
Yeah, mama.
And that's what we call consensual sex, and that's where they're getting it confused. Is they think they need that? Never mind. No. Okay.
Wait, you're having sex with Pip because you're talking about an echo chamber.
Ox's comment said, "Bet she's a real dead fuck. Never mind." No, Ox, she would just tell you you're doing it wrong and that it's flat. That's what.
No, dude, she would be one of those pain in the asses that you have sex with that like commands you to do everything. No, you're not doing it right. Turn this way. No, you got to do this. No, you're not. It's like fuck you, dude. Like that's how my last ex was. It's like anything you did was wrong. It's like, what the fuck? I'm trying, bitch.
They all want you to be psychic, man. That's what's wrong with most women. They want you to be psychic. Like, you just gotta.
Shit, are you kidding me?
You
Slim
should just
is
know what
psychic
they
when it
want.
comes to me.
Which is why I tell everybody that conversations about your sexual preference, what's going on, what you like, shit, is really important in a relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm in one of my favorite
tongue in
spots.
someone's ass and they don't want it, you know? I mean, you gotta talk.
I am in the perfect spot. I got Brainless below me, and I'm in between Uncle Beck and Slim.
Yes.
Great.
Well, you're sandwiched between me and Slim now, baby.
But now, now.
Works for me. Conversations like that should be like very early on. Not too early on, obviously, because then that's just a bit much. But yeah, sandwiched in between, like just after casual third date chat before you actually have sex, and along with the for me included, like if we're gonna have sex, you have to know that this and this and that. Like, if I get pregnant, that baby is gonna get fucking scrambled. I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Like, lay down all the groundworks of like what I do and do not find okay before shit gets deep. It's better to know before you get invested.
Especially you.
When I was downtown, guess what I got today?
What, baby juice?
A vibrator.
Yay.
Whee! Flaggies!
Yay.
I plan on getting the rest of them too.
Nice.
You also did not say that Vila was wrong.
What?
You didn't
I
say
know, I
that
didn't
we
get
love
vibrator
Rome and clean, I guess.
No, I didn't get a vibrator today. I got flags
Oh.
and I got buttons and bracelets.
I thought you were going to say a butt plug. I was like,
That's where my mind went as well. Hey, we just discussed
I even got this one.
Inflatable one.
She's gonna turn the LGBTQIA plus flags into a motorized clit stimulator. They're all gonna just rotate and
Yes,
slap her
yes,
clit.
yes.
Hey, you know what?
No,
what you should
see,
do,
actually,
Queen?
when we set up our streaming, once we move into our apartment, all these are going to be behind us.
Oh, that's
Oh, I was
cool.
gonna. Hey, are you artsy? You're artsy, aren't you?
Yes.
I knew it. I could tell by looking at you. No, seriously, you just look like an artsy person. So if it was me and I was art capable, let me put it that way, art capable, I would cut different shapes out of all the different flags and make some kind of collage thing and frame it.
Yeah, I could do that.
And it could be any. They could be any shape.
I can totally do that. Oh, and I found this
male,
perfect-
female, sex shapes. It could be whatever.
Stars, hearts.
I have great ideas. I just can't do it.
You really do. And I have officially watch out.
Well,
buttons.
So,
to be honest, that's just
my book bag is gonna end up weighing 1,000 pounds with all these.
Oh,
How about
cool.
Uncle Beck, like that's just a matter of trying.
Right. Like, look at this. It's.
I miss the ideas. I don't have the ideas. Oh, cool.
Oh, see, I get all kinds of
you.
ideas. I can't. When I try them, they don't come out anywhere near what I'm thinking.
This one right here
Like they're
is one I
horrible.
absolutely loved. It says non-binosaur.
That takes a lot of practice, Uncle Beck, and like even after lots of practice, I'm still not there. I have like 10, 15 books full of design ideas for various things. I'm not good enough to make them by any means, so I just give the ideas to other people that I know can do it.
Well,
There you
that's
go.
what I'm doing. Right. That's exactly
It's
what
always
I do.
fun, isn't it?
Yeah. I just can't. It just everything comes out horrible and it looks like a 5th grader. No, that's way too high. Looks like a 2nd grader did it.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
I'm not
like
artsy.
actual drawing skills, not me. Not gonna happen.
You know what I am? I'm the idea guy. If you need a problem solved and you have like a weird situation going on, I don't even care what it is. It can be at work, it can be something you're building, it could be whatever. I'm a problem solver. That's my gig. I can figure a way around anything.
yes, Danish. We'll talk because we were supposed to do that before. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're in the U.S. right now, aren't you? Is she gonna move here? Linda, are you gonna move here?
Not before Micro and me met up with you in Denmark,
Yeah.
and we all went to Legoland together.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's. Before we get into the idiocracy of this, I have to play this, and then we will get into this. What they want to call a documentary, which is not one. It is a falsimentary, but we'll get into that. So here's this.
Can I just
first. Sure.
This thing, I was thinking about it after we got done last time. Those lines are not the same length.
No.
Between the two destinations or the 3 destinations. Those lines are not the same length. So how do those people even know that the jet could have made it that fucking far? It's farther over to there than it is up there.
They don't understand the concept of measurement, space, time,
By
length.
like 1,000 miles or something. Like, how could they even?
One line's probably longer than the other because it actually accounts for the curvature of the Earth.
Oh my God! No, really?
And
Oh,
they've
that's
not
weird.
actually done it properly because it's longer than the other, which would account theoretically for the curvature of the Earth. And they've not flattened it out accurately where they are all the same length because there would be no curvature, meaning there's no extra miles. Because if you measure a string from one side of the ball to the other, it'll be longer than if that was flat. Do you get what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also find it funny that they use a globe Earth for this because where they have them starting at, New Guinea, isn't even on their flat Earth map. It's too low.
Yeah,
it doesn't
well,
even fit on their fucking map.
Yeah.
So how would you like now? You have to use a globe. Use your own fucking map. I want to see it.
Well, I want to see. I want to see a flat Earth model, please.
But who says that these lines in reality also are not different lengths?
Twatchumentary. Demon.
That's what I was trying. I was trying to say something like that. Anyways, yes, Nips. Okay, so let's keep blowing on. We're just gonna get into this.
To went to Los Angeles in North America, to then go towards Australia in the Southern Hemisphere. This thing kept alive in the back of our mind for all these years.
Okay, here's their next point.
I'm a merchant marine. I've been selling 15 years. I graduated from the Paul Hall Maritime Center out of Piney Point, Maryland. I primarily sell on container ships, tankers, drill ships, military cargo vessels, you name it, I can sell on it. My selling capacity of bosun, my whole title is AB Unlimited. That primarily sell deep sea and coastal, meaning up and down the coast, west coast, east coast, and deep sea is out deep sea across to other continents. What led me to the flat earth was actually my sister. We've always been into the conspiracies and the 9/11 and Sandy Hook and all that stuff. And one day she said, hey, you want to see a conspiracy? You should look into the flat earth. I looked at her and laughed because I had seen the videos come up in the feed and they showed that disc thing in space and I laughed at it. And she showed it to me and I laughed at her. And I went and pulled out my phone and I looked up a video. You can look it up. It's called Dragon Link FPV to Space. And what you'll see is basically an RC airplane that's been taken up about 80,000 feet and they release it and then the airplane comes down with power. And it has the Dragon Link system, which is capable of making control and video. Anyways, but they had a GoPro, so you see this curved globe. And, that set it for me. When I saw that, I was like, oh, wow, look at that. So I brought that down to her, put it right in her face and said, look at that. And looking back, I remember her smile on it was like, okay, she wasn't going to argue with me. She said, okay. Later on, I don't know, a couple days later, whenever, I seen it in there. And I said, all right, I had nothing to watch. I hit it on the YouTube. And I knew within 10 minutes of it. I forget which one it was. I think it was probably one of the
That picture just proved it around.
Almost like I instantly knew. And
everything he just showed proves a fucking globe.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That ship is way behind him and it's lower. That's because it's round.
The GoPro footage does not prove anything in both directions.
No.
But remember, this fool said he just works on a container ship. He does not say what his job on the container ship is.
He could be a pilot, didn't he? He pilots.
I thought he just said he works on.
Maybe he has scrubbed the floors.
Oh, I thought he said he could sail.
Maybe he has scrubbed the floors.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I believe he said he just works on container ships. So,
anyways,
but correct me if I'm wrong, please. But that means he could be the janitor. He could be the coal shovel. Yeah, exactly. He's a coal shoveler. He could be anything on the ship.
He could be the chef. Right.
Yeah,
be in a kitchen all day.
Yeah, just because you work on a container ship does not mean you're like our tiny captain, who's actually the captain of these vessels and is in control of. He was telling us at one point in time, or that most of the time, he is in control of $10 million worth of stuffs.
Oh, I believe it.
The ship
I hauled a load that was $5 million, and all it was a meat packer for Purdue. It was made out of aluminum.
Yeah, exactamole.
10 million is nothing compared to what most of those ships have on them. You're talking about billions.
But they do
maybe of dollars. I don't know.
They don't let the novices run those
things.
Right? You have to have a lot of experience, right, Beck? And you have to have proof and never have an accident and there's other things you have to do to prove that you can carry that load, right?
How many years you've been, who you've assisted and on other boats. You Get
Yeah,
a lot of
and,
fucking
and
time.
also like the thing that Tiny Captain does is he delivers new boats to the customers.
Yeah, that's
They don't want that shit coming in scratched. You know?
Yeah, so if you have a
Yeah,
4
that's
million,
true. They're quite literally like black boxes and all these things now to make sure that you've gone where you're meant to go, the way you're meant to go, at the speed you're meant to go, to make sure that you're not playing silly buggers. And that's why it went viral about the person that drew the dick in the water with their GPS logging. When someone went off course by quite a lot of miles and they got into so much trouble. Because air traffic control, these things can be monitored and shit.
Yeah, you know, they don't want you taking it to the Caribbean and having a fucking Brazilian party or
but
something
also,
like, you
how
know.
much fuel does it take for a joke like that? You know?
And to go off course,
like,
you can't.
Like,
Yeah,
it's not just let's go on a happy little jaunt to see tra la la.
And same with what Beck does with semis and with the cargo trucks. You need to be as efficient as possible. You need to go from point A to point B and as quick as possible with the least amount of turns or uphill, downhill, and all the other things you got to think of to make it so it's cost effective.
It's all about efficiency and economy. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, Vila, like, what part was that? Was it the Suez Canal that we saw him go through in the video that he could not show publicly because of doxing?
Yeah.
That was so fucking tight. Oh my god.
It made me, Randy, thinking about how tight that was. Anyways, going with that. So if you have these $1 million, gazillion dollar corporations that are sending gazillions of dollars worth of product through a passage, through a different way, airplane, ocean, train, bus, semi, whichever ways the thingy-mabobbers is, a company is not going to make their overhead larger, right? So why would you use a model that is fake comparatively to what you should be using to make things work so that you can get the best fuel efficiency? Let's just say energy efficiency out of you transporting those goods. Why would you use a fake system? Does that make any fucking sense?
They used the flat Earth internally, and to their customers they tell the globe story so they can have them pay more.
Yeah, thanks for being the fucking devil's advocate here, there, Brainless. But no, that still doesn't work.
That's what the fuckers think.
No, I totally hear you on what they think, but if you've ever worked for a moving company, if you've ever worked for somebody who transports stuff, or you've ever toured like I have done, going cross country, driving and barely hoping that you can have enough gas money to get to the next town because the night before you didn't make any money because there was 5 people at your show and they were all cowboys and they fucking were throwing beer bottles at you the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you learn really quick how far the Americas is when you have no fucking money. Like, you can't fake that bullshit.
That's very detailed, Slim. Very detailed.
It only happened twice. No, have you ever gone? Well, obviously people that are not in the Americas, but in the Americas, there are certain venues you go into and you start loading in and you put all your stuff in the green room and then you go onto the stage and you realize there's chicken wire all in front of the stage. And you're like,
uh-oh.
And at first, when you don't know, and I'm guessing a lot of us in here or the audience don't know, except for maybe Ox, maybe there may be a couple other, but it doesn't matter. I'll tell the story. You go into there and you talk to the sound guy, and you're like, "What the fuck's the chicken wire for?" And none of them will ever tell you what it's for. They're like, "You'll find out, boy." You know, and you're like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the Blues Brothers thing in the Blues Brothers movie, right? I mean, they went in front of that.
I was just thinking that when you were talking.
Yeah, that's right. And I've had this happen 5 or 6 times throughout the Americas. Even in fucking Colorado, this shit. We go into a fucking bar and you fucking are in front of chicken wire and you're like, oh fuck, we're gonna get hit with beer bottles. And if you don't know, what happens is these people will come into these venues, and mostly it's cowboy bars that seem to be prevalent with this. Yeah, biker, biker cowboys are like the weird mixture of what it is. But they come in and they will literally throw beer bottles at your fucking face and anything they have if they don't like what you're doing. And literally, you'll be performing, and beer bottles will hit that
and
chicken
shatter.
wire.
And
And you'll get you'll get hit in the face with glass and beer, and you got to keep playing because that's how you perform. You don't ever stop. You never stop playing. So
The show must go on.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, the wire is just screwing you.
Well, no, it's to make sure that beer bottle doesn't hit you in the head to give you concussion. They don't want to get sued, so they make it so you barely get hurt, so they don't have to pay for your injuries.
Don't let people have fucking glass over here in the UK.
Well, nowadays, what we do, and
It's
this was
Liam that's
again,
with you.
yeah,
It's
but
Liam
again,
that's
this was
doing his shows.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different part of my show. But anyways, this was back in the day. This
It's
isn't
this
nowadays.
part.
Yeah. Nowadays they give you the plastic cups. Now those venues have plastic cups, and we don't have the chicken wire anymore. But still, getting hit with a plastic cup full of fucking a girly drink still sucks. I mean, like you get all the sugary drink all over you, and it makes it all sticky. And although a while ago it was a couple years ago, 8, 10, whatever years ago, I got hit with a shot glass in my eye because a girl told her girlfriend that I look cute, and she got jealous. And while I was on stage about ready to end my set, I had a shot glass thrown in my face.
Lovely.
That was fun for no reason. Okay, so let's get on further with this, and
Then a lot of the proofs that I had were before I was a flat earther, such as seeing contacts at 30 miles out with the naked eye on the horizon, which is impossible on the globe model. So much so, it was me, the third officer, and the lookout. We were standing our watch, and I believe we were in the Mediterranean Sea. Lookout, looking watch, and say, okay, we got a contact out there.
I still don't believe he's told us what he's actually doing on the ship, because everybody has a position. If anybody can recall or hears him ever say what he does on the ship, please let us know. He just said that he was on his third watch, so he's some kind of thing, but he still could be faking it. Just because he said that does not mean he's
yet.
Okay.
We look and we try and get it on the radar. We get it at 30 miles out. When the chief mate came up, we had told him, hey, mate, we got a contact earlier 30 miles out. He said, bull crap. I don't believe you. And we all looked at each other and shook our heads and said, yeah, they got it. He stormed off the bridge, ran down, came back up. He had the Bowditch, which is a thick green book that's everything you ever need to know about being on the ocean, sailing, navigation, everything. And he comes up and he says, the math doesn't lie. And he slams down this piece of paper and he says, our bridge height is at 100 feet versus how far? 30 miles. It should have been behind like 600 foot of curve. I remember 600 something foot. He had all the mathematical course. I didn't know, okay, that's good. All right, he must know what he's talking about. But we're looking like, well, I don't know. We got it on the radar. Then the radar must not know what it's doing.
You had one anomaly on your radar once.
Jay. That's what
No,
my friends
radar.
call me. That's what I just go by Jay.
Radar waves
My
also are affected by gravity.
So one time they had an anomaly on their radar system, and he wants to use that as an example. He does not have more examples of that, and it's very vague. Once again, this person did not tell us what they did on the ship, what their position was. They said they were just around for somebody saying something about something. It was very, very vague comparatively what you would say if you were.
What was the weather like? Was it
Yeah,
calm,
that's-
absolutely 100% calm ocean, or were there waves? Okay, the mast is that high, whatever the lookout is that high. However, that's the height from like water to mast, right?
Yeah.
Now, what about adding on them
Wave.
being on a wave and you being on a wave? What if they're on a wave that's made them rise higher? And you see, or do you get what I mean? That can change the actual math as well. Also, it could be an anomaly with the math and the radar. We don't know. Maybe they've got an out-of-date book. Like, no. This is anecdotal bullshit anyway. Never believe anecdotal evidence.
Is it called hearsay? Would that be what it would be called?
Objection.
In the court, it would be hearsay.
Grounds.
Sustained. Questioning.
What's the reason for the substain?
My penis is hard. Anyways, let's keep going.
That's what gave this stuff sustained.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, let's keep going on because they left out the. This is how you know if you actually know kind of what we're speaking about. When somebody speaks about it, they leave out the wrong info, or they leave out certain information that tells you that they're faking it, right? It's this and that they don't tell you. And you're like, well, I need that information for us to have that to be able to figure out the circumstance. And they leave out that information. You know, like, who were you on deck? Why were you talking with all of these people? You still could have been the janitor and you heard everybody talking. And then you're saying that you know this word and that word, or they said this and that. But if you don't know the lingo, just like flat earthers do, they're like, level means this. And you're like, well, if you're talking about this field, it means this. If you're talking about this field, that means something else.
Right.
It matters on where you are. Being a bartender, certain words mean this. If you're a cook, certain words mean that. If you're on the construction site, this word means that. And so everything means different things in lingo. And slang even is a whole different thing when you're talking about different languages as well.
In building, level means one and leveled means another.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Isn't it on a building site? Level means one thing and leveled means another.
Yeah,
to have it level means it's all straight.
Yeah, and
level means one side is the higher side normally is the one you do, and you build the other side up to the level of one instead of.
And also, level also means like going up a level each floor.
Yeah.
And then in the bar or club in the bar or say this as soon as I'm done, Beck. And the other thing about being in the bar and club industry, level means when you're sober, and leveled means when you do a bump of cocaine while you're on the job. Anyways, never mind. Go ahead, Beck.
No, I just said and level up.
Yeah, it's exactly.
It's used in games. It's used in
exactly, Tamoli. The code words all mean different things when you're in different social situations and doing different things. Yeah, a hand job could mean something different when you're just socializing with your friends, drinking a beer or two at the bar, and then behind the back alley, that could mean a whole different thing.
Oh God.
Something wrong?
Okay, so anyways, let's keep blowing on with this J character in quotations is what he goes by, is J. And I believe that means BJ, but we'll talk about that later. Or or jerk off.
Name. If he swear to it so much, why won't he use his real name?
Right.
Mark says, as someone who used to use radar every day, I can say anomalies are extremely common. That's why radars have a gain function to tune out most of that interference.
Correct.
Right. See?
Yeah, especially when my detachable penis is flying through the air to get back and forth from me to Queen, then the government already knows that that's going to be an anomaly in the sky, and they know how to erase that on their equipment.
What makes you think I'm actually letting that thing leave?
No, it has not left your side in the last months. So, okay.
And it will not until you come home.
Yes, and I will be there soon. We're definitely working on that. We're almost there for that to happen. So okay, I'm going to press play, and then I'm going to get another beer, and then we will just go on further with the idiocracy of. You want to know what's funny about this whole thing so far? We are on the second episode of us going over an hour and 30-minute fake-umentary, is what I'm going to call it, a faux-umentary. And
No,
we're
you were
only
right the first time, fake-umentary.
We're only 20 minutes into all of this, so. Will you read that, baby?
There's a trans man and a trans woman on stream. Would have been a perfect time to talk about how scared conspiracy people are of trans people. This is true.
And we can go for it while I'm getting a beer. But that is a major thing in all of this stuff of my things, and that's why they're so scared about me calling myself a cyborg and other people
I have
calling
noticed
themselves
that
other
though, baby.
things.
Like they're
Yeah.
very, very bigoted.
Yeah,
Me not understand. Me scared of it.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, and that's basically animal instinct. Something unknown could kill you.
Yeah.
So something you don't
Right,
know.
but like they are seriously bigoted. Like very badly.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
I don't think
how
it's
is it-
animal instinct. Like,
Well, that's where it starts.
I don't know. I really don't think so because it's not that unknown. It's not that uncommon.
No, it's not that it's unknown. It's just
Not anymore.
they're
damn
afraid of the fact that trans people are thinking on both levels. They were born one sex and they're truly another sex. So
Yeah, and-
they're thinking on both levels and they're like, oh shit, they're double smart. We're really screwed.
It's normally religion. Like a lot of these conspiracy
I know,
theories
yeah,
are
they are.
always religious. It is
Yeah,
so
they're
rare
true.
we find one that is an atheist. Not unheard of, but rare. And if they
Yeah, it's not
are,
unheard of, but they are very. A lot of them are very evangelical.
yeah, and the ones that are atheist or agnostic are very much like, the Illuminati, this, that. Like they're doing like. There's some very, very crazy conspiracy theory attached to it that the religious people use or have come up with anyway.
Right.
So it doesn't matter that they're not even Christian or religious because there's that. And let's not miss out the fact that, like, unfortunately now there are a lot of people like that have kind of swung into the pagan community, which is just fucking great. But yeah, I don't get it. I really don't.
So
It's
hundreds of thousands
literal
of
brainwashing.
soldiers, sailors, scientists worldwide that have experienced the curve of the Earth in one way or another, but one random dude says, "Nuh-uh," therefore, flurf.
Exactly. Most of us have experienced it. I know I have personally multiple times traveling the stuffs. I've been to Mosquito Pass, which is like a gazillion miles up. Like it's very, very hard to breathe up there. And like you can look and see the curves of stuff. So it's hilarious that like, yeah, all the sciences work together to make it be a globe. But these idiots want to say that there's one or two guys that says it. And if you don't leave your mom's basement, how are you ever going to like be able to measure the Earth? So, you know, you need to do that at least once or twice in your life.
Well, everything in my mom's basement is flat, so I'm guessing since this is my world, then the world.
And these days, even your screen's flat. So
Yeah, your screen's flat, your computer keyboard's flat, the guy's penis is flat because he's a loser.
Hey,
so everything's flat.
Well, I don't know because my keyboard does have a slight curve.
Well, that's an optical illusion, and it's on the side.
You're
not on the
using
top
fisheye
of the
lens.
earth. It doesn't count.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Your eyes are round. That's why you see it. Why you see it round.
I see a curve
And
because my eyes.
that one
Okay.
I completely don't get, because if your eyes would create that optical illusion, then how could you see a straight line?
No, exactly. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And if this guy has been everywhere on a ship, are you telling me he's never been like near the North Pole or South Pole or anything?
Right.
If
Honey,
Where's
if
the
he's a
South Pole
sailor,
on
he's been around a lot of poles.
Where's the South Pole on the flat Earth model? Hell, where's the North Pole on a flat Earth model?
What about
They
Australia?
don't exist.
Exactly.
Australia is a hologram. Hello, it's CGI.
Dude probably thinks Diamantina is a real place.
Hey, maybe in like in about a decade or two, when the Earth tilts really hard this way, which it's supposed to, by the way, that's what the scientists say. When it
Yeah,
tilts really
that's
hard
that
this
hard.
way, and people that are in tropical areas now have winter storms, and people in cold areas like Alaska is just gonna melt because it's gonna be closer to the equator, and all the shit up above there, not Alaska, the North Pole, everything up there, everything, Antarctica, it's all gonna melt eventually. So when that happens, why did that happen if the Earth's flat?
Because all the gay
And if the
people,
sun hits everywhere at once-
God.
And if the sun hits everywhere at once, why is the Antarctica still there?
No, I know it's redonkulous. Like none of this
It is.
makes anything about anything for the things in the bobbers. Like they're just so daft that they don't understand the concepts of like really its size. Like I mean, they want to believe they're 9 inches long when they're really only 3. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
They're
really
9. They're 9. Let them go. Just because they can't tell the difference between millimeters and
centimeters.
doesn't mean anything.
Inches, millimeters, and inches. Slim.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, they don't even know what kilometers is or any of the other meters because they've never seen anything that big before that they can comprehend.
And they don't. And they cannot convert from meters to kilometers. Also, one of those famous thingies.
The width of the beam
Yeah.
at a rate of almost 1,000 feet for every 10 miles. Oh.
What?
Ox said the width of the beam expands at a rate of almost 1,000 feet. Radar beam, 1,000 feet for every 10 miles of travel. That's why its growth compensates for the curve and sees over it.
Yeah, and then once again, that's why it only goes so far. Just like radio signals as well. You have to put a thingy so high up in the air in between so many places to get your radio to work, FM or AM, and there's a difference between the signals in either or and stuff, and 50,000 watts of power, which was a song that we used to have, and I think that has to do with AM radio or something like that. But again, these things matter. The reason why there's things so far away from each other, because there's the curvature of the earth, and you have to have things in between to make things work. And yes, we will admit the Ethernet cables that go under the oceans take up a lot of what happens through the globe internet, but we still locally have a bunch of 4G towers, 5G and other towers that are making things that connect together, and then we can go to other places. And the only reason why we can't go that far is because what are you going to do in the middle of the ocean that has 100-foot waves? Put a fucking a Wi-Fi expander? No, that's not gonna fucking work, dumbass. You have to fucking put it somewhere, which is under the ocean. That's the only way that makes sense.
Yeah. No, but there's another option, and that's up in the sky. But yeah.
But we're about ready to.
Also with the radio signals, as you said, like because like around here, including a lot of my my colleagues are have pirate radio stations.
Yeah.
And like the thing to increase your range is not the power. The power helps for a clear signal.
It's a
height
larger
of your
antenna.
antenna is so much more important.
So when I was a teenager, my stepdad ran an illegal radio station thingy mabobber kind of, and it was just him and his nerd friends talking about nerd stuff about radios and computers. But they did have a way to get in between certain bands and be able to broadcast it so far, so him and his 5 friends could sit there and nerd out.
They had
with
ham
each other.
radios, didn't they?
Yeah, it's sure. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I'm not 100% sure, but again,
that is interesting. So
they hacked a certain wave channel, and he distributed it, and they all could be on it.
I've actually talked to people in Jamaica and stuff like that on CB radios, and they sound like they were standing right next to me.
CB's a whole different thing.
Right?
That's exactly why they're illegal.
It's
because the government.
No, you need a license for one. You need a license. For
That's
CB.
one thing about the
CB is
licensing for
ham
that.
is licensed, but
ham radio you have to have a license.
If you have the right conditions in the atmosphere, I could be talking to Slim.
Yeah.
From here.
Yeah.
Do
you remember Pearl was doing his licensing before he went and disappeared?
MIA.
And he also managed to pick up a signal from like Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
If you
like on a clear day next to a tower.
My stepdad was picking up weird signals from other countries, and we thought, I didn't know at the time what was going on, but now that I know what things were, he actually was picking up spy channels, and so he would click in and it'd be like Alpha, Zeta, 1, 2, Beta, and they would be telling a code, and it was from another country. We click in, and it was just them giving a string of something, and it was obviously going to spies or somebody, because I didn't know at the time, like I said, but now I've delved into that, or found things that were like, oh, there's ghost channels, or there's channels where they're giving a string of stuff, and only the people who know what they're talking about are ever going to they're only going to know the things. So every day at 8 a.m., you click into this channel, and they'll give you your code word for the day, and you just write it down, and you know which is what and for what and whatever. I forgot what they're called, but I experienced that a couple times. And then
like the counting stations, I've heard of.
Yeah, they're like number stations or something like that. Yeah, they're called something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But then when I was hanging out with a dude that I was doing a bunch of drugs with, who built the San Diego Police Department's PA system or whatever, or call system. Call system, right? Which was funny because we would like go and talk to cops all the time, fucking like high as fuck, because he knew like all these cops, and when we got pulled over, they'd be like, "Oh, what's up, John?" And they would just like let us go. It was fucking insane. But anyways,
by the way, just look up the like phantom radio message from Russia.
Yeah.
Because what you're describing is exactly a thing that's been apparently going on since like Chernobyl or some shit, or the Iron Curtain coming down.
Yeah.
Like there's been a phantom radio message that no one can tell where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So I think you might find that interesting.
Sweet. Yes, put that. I believe they're called number stations because there are these things. But then today I was watching something about a YouTube channel that was doing this kind of coding that I didn't finish exactly watching on, like, if it was actually linked to spy services or people spying in the Americas or in other countries or something. But anyways, let's get further into this, because the whole funny thing about these people is their minds are so...
Oh, cool. Thank you, Harry. Harry says he knows this, what I'm on about.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, because I watched something on it briefly and I barely remember.
Yeah, so let us know in a second. But what's funny about these people is they don't even understand the intricacies of what we just talked about. Like, if they were to hear what we just talked about, it would blow their minds, because they don't even understand there's like that much stuff about technology. And the great thing that I got to experience when I was a teenager is I was building PCs at 14. I was working on ham radios around the same time, probably at 12 years old. We were building like radio towers and shit like that. And then my stepdad was commissioned by the Navy to build unmanned sea vehicles to go pick up airplanes that crashed into the ocean in foreign waters. So I was like around a bunch of like interesting stuff that I got to like kind of be involved in. Like, of course, I don't know like real secrets, but I was around when things were, you know what I'm saying? Like, my stepdad didn't realize my brain was actually paying attention to what we were talking about. He had like military people over and I was around and not in the room exactly, but they're talking about shit and you're like, whoa, I just heard some fucking crazy ass shit about how we're doing something with Japan or whatever. So anyways, let's keep blowing on, because let's hear what Jay has to say about this. Yes.
So just before you move on with it, I looked it up because I wanted to make sure this wasn't just some like childhood like hallucination or misremembering.
Yeah,
but like every year when I was younger, me and my family used to go on holiday to Spain. Oh, actually not Spain, but like one of the Canary Islands, right? It is from Gatwick Airport, a 6-hour plane trip.
Yeah.
And at points you just see miles and miles and miles of open sea and just everything, right?
Right.
And I saw the curve of the earth. Double checked, and yeah, apparently it says here, you can see the curvature of the earth from 35,000 foot in the air.
Yes.
And planes fly from 33 to 42,000 foot in the air.
Right.
So just going on a plane journey that requires them to go up to like that height, you can actually see that the earth is curved. And we've said this before, that I don't think they go up that high when they're just going from one like town in America to another. Like, they're not going to do that. They don't need to go that high unless they're encountering a mountain and a specific mountain. Like, they're not going to need that. So, like, if they did any transatlantic flight, you would see the curvature of the Earth.
But that's because the windows are bent. The glass gives an optical illusion.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's keep going on.
That sounds about right, Super Ghosts.
Okay, let's blow on.
Experience. I joined the Navy when I was 17 years old. I had a secret security clearance. There's different levels of security clearance. There's a lower level, then there's a secret, which is what I had, which is like a mid-level, and then there's a top secret. I did not have a top secret clearance, so there's a lot that I don't know. But I did have a secret clearance. So it's basically the mid-level security clearance for the government that I had, and I did that job for 8 years. I worked in operational intelligence specifically. The radar
If I can just comment on the secret, I'm guessing that anyone who works on that kind of ship probably has that kind of clearance.
Yeah,
Like-
no, that's everybody and their mom
even
has
the
that
cook,
clearance.
even the cook has clearance. Even
It's
the
pretty
janitor.
much like signing an NDA to go on to a film set and or like a contractor building something new project. You sign an NDA, and it's just saying you won't talk about whatever you see here out in public. Yeah, everybody has
Exactly.
that. So no, he
Also,
still could be a
like-
nobody. He did not say what he does yet.
They monitor once you leave that thing, they monitor the fuck out of you. There are people assigned to monitoring you if you work in something that has, like,
That
not
kind of
even a big
clearance.
secret,
Yeah.
but any secret that they just don't want out. It doesn't have to be a world-shattering secret. Just has to be one that's annoying enough they don't want to have to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, and they're gonna just monitor you, and if they see you're doing this shit, they're gonna drop in and be like, "What the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
Like
no,
you
but, like,
signed
it's
this contract, you were in violation of it, and what with the American Secrets Act, they can just lock you away. You wouldn't risk it unless it's something earth-shattering, like something that you are so morally torn between. Like, is it worth me going to jail to let people know? Do you get what I mean? And it's not going to be over something this fucking dumb about, oh, the radio works a bit differently than what they say.
Yeah, no, just anytime you go into the military service and just like going on to like he said, going to stupid movies or top secret, you don't say crap. All of these things are just saying that because they don't want you to divulge something before that they can, and if you say it in the wrong way, then whatever. He still could be a cook. He still could be a deckhand. He could still be an ass wiper. I don't
If you
know.
want someone important, I guess, then just like the any old shit. Do you get what I mean? I'm trying.
Yeah, of course,
I'm
that's what I'm saying.
trying to give him a little bit of the benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt.
But I
but
still
also-
believe he's a nobody on the ship.
Yeah, no, but
hey.
also if he was
Cool.
on a ship like this has no nobodies.
Well, I mean, if you're a
A
cook,
ship like that
if-
doesn't have a nobody.
I'm not saying no, they're not a nobody, but it. Well, the other thing is
And like,
if you've gone into retirement and somebody wants to throw you $10,000, $5,000, how much money is it going to be for you to like just say whatever the fuck they want you to say? If somebody throws you a script, right? And your NDA is over or your contract's over, how much money would it cost for you to just fucking say whatever they throw you in a script? That's the other thing. Like if this person is a disabled vet and they need money to pay for their
by
whatever,
their government.
yeah, because our American government sucks fucking balls. There may be a reason why there's somebody who's going to be doing this just because somebody threw them money in a script. Just like all of the fucking right-wing fucking pundits that are making all the gazillions of dollars right now. Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, all of them. So that's
And they're
a,
getting
that's the whole
paid
thing.
to give misinformation.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
And see, that's a whole nother thing. Skits just pointed out. It's not a violation of security clearance if you make it up. So literally, you can write a whole book about shit that's actually not happening, and the government is going to be like, "Thanks for covering up that shit," you know, like thanks for fucking not making it not look like us. So we don't fucking know. Once again, one motherfucker is saying this out of how many? Somebody look this up, please. How many people graduate from the Naval Academy every year? And or the Marines and or the combination of the two every year. Let's just put that. So every type of seaman that is a military thing, how many of them? What do we always say about conspiracy theories? The more people involved, the less likely it's going to be a fucking thing. If there's fucking 100,000, 200, 500,000 people a year that are figuring out this crap, how can you hide it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know how Cookie McSweet Tits hides all the semen inside of her, but that's a different story, honey.
I'm sorry, did I hear something about titties sweet? What?
Cookie McSweet Tits, you know, she
Oh,
loves
yeah,
the
yeah.
semen, you know what I'm saying, honey? She loves to fit them all
how
inside
could
of
you
her
not
at
remember
once.
her? How could you not remember?
Okay, so let's just keep going on.
The basics
We got
for
distracted.
newly commissioned officers and warrant officers are taught the basics of being an officer of Marines, delivering training to approximately 1,700 new officers each year. Now that's how giving training to. I don't know whether that's how many go in or how many come out. And that's
Probably
the
how many come
officers,
out. New
not
officers.
the entry rank. Like,
It's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
So
that's
yeah,
a lot of
exactly. Tell
people
Malik.
for 1 year. Like,
Even if just half of it, if it's what's coming in and a half pass.
Okay,
Like,
and then the next thing before I go a little bit further into this, because like I don't know what else we're gonna get out of this today, but we'll keep going. Is how many other naval organizations are there? I you know whatever. I probably did not say that right, but you know,
worldwide or in America?
no, go worldwide. How many naval people go into the services every year, or how large are our naval services in the world? Just go naval services in the world on how many people.
Thousands and
That means that
thousands of
many
people.
Yeah, that means that many people have to be lying about all of this crap, because even if you're a poop deck cleaner, which is just the surface of the top, never mind. You would eventually figure out that it wasn't flat if you were doing all this stuff, right? I mean, like
Right.
you couldn't keep it a secret from everybody and their moms, sisters, brothers, cousins, aunts, donkey. I mean,
And
you're gonna have
lovers.
to get the donkey's gonna eventually find out, right? I mean,
yeah, probably.
You donkey doesn't want to know who that is.
I'm sorry.
You
I
talk
just grew up around
Never mind,
Tijuana,
never mind.
and yeah, no, never mind. We'll talk about that later. Too bad Mango's not here to write that down about talking about it later.
I can't find an estimate of it.
Can you look up just really fast? Here, make it easier.
I know
How
England
many
has
naval?
7.
How many naval services are there in the world, or how many naval?
That's what I'm trying to look at. Hang on, I'll have
Okay.
to do quick count.
Sure. And Glober Mom, Cookie McSweet Tits took care of all of those naval personnel. So you're all welcome, everybody in the Navy.
Except the straight females.
Hey, you don't even know.
They would probably not be into Cookie.
Hey, she can wear a strap on just like the best of all of us.
Hey, Slim, you think you need to explain that to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do know that's Cookie's man right there.
I don't know about that, Slim, because I'm gonna tell you, buddy, I got years and years of experience with one of those.
Well, so does Cookie. No, Cookie's about 81 now, and she's been wearing a strap on since her 20s. So,
touche.
I
back
I thought he was 69. I thought he
Oh
was
yeah, no,
69.
he's got us all beat.
You back down? You uncle back down? Sorry.
Cookie's beating us all at a lot of different things.
Yes.
Oh yes,
He
yes.
can.
Oh.
That's not what he meant.
Sorry, can't keep a straight face.
She is the one who made
Don't worry, Speedy, I can't
vaudeville
keep up with
popular.
anything.
Okay, so let's keep blowing on until we get an answer.
Navigation. There's a limited scope of what we're able to see. Now, granted, this is 15 or 20 years ago. What I mean by that is, with it being 15 or 20 years ago,
155.
Exactly. So there's
And that is just like naval, like the country's navy. Like one, I know England has 7, and it's only put the Royal Navy. But we have 7 naval things in our country. So, like, there's more. There's more.
And
it's 155 base minimum.
And let's just talk about all the Aboriginal cultures that have their own naval system, which isn't anything, but just more people.
Right.
Just because just more and more people that are understanding the concept of how the world works. Because you have to take a sea craft and take it across places where you don't see any land anymore, and you have to use thingies around you, which prove the globe, to navigate. I mean, I would love to take a flat earther and like throw them on a boat and just push them out and say, fucking navigate. But that would kill so many people, and I really don't want to murder people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd love to, but we can't.
I love
We
their
can't. I
flippers.
want
They're
to.
expendable.
In Minecraft, I would love to, but I can't. We can't. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they're flurfers. They're expendable. It's okay.
Well, see, I want to use them for other things, like maybe putting them, like, you know how you used to do the oxen on that like wheel and like make them like churn butter or make them like do an actual thing. That's what I want to do with flat earthers. I want to convince them to work for us.
Renewable energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's flurf energy. Everybody hashtag flurf energy. And that's what we're gonna strive towards.
We gotta
We're
get
gonna make a cult.
hamster wheel.
Hold on. Yeah, we're gonna make a cult, and we're gonna get all the QAnon and flurfs to be our hamster wheel, our hamster wheel ball, and we're gonna call ourselves the hamsters, but like you know, name it differently so they don't know that we're calling it that. And then son of a bitch, god damn it, this is so easy.
Just
so
to put it out there with this, the Navy thing. So the oldest one, 512 years, Danish Navy. Respect to the Danes here. Then it's like at 400 years, the Indian Navy. Then it's like French, English, etc. with hundreds of years. The youngest one is 25 years, right?
Yeah.
Now we've got them spanning from way back in time where they had no technology apart from the like basics, right?
Okay.
And they managed to navigate the globe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've got the newest ones with all the technology who would have and also if they're a newly established navy, they're not going to be a rich country. Like, come on, they're gonna not be like having the best of everything for it and everything. Then like, how's that gonna work? How is it gonna work that we've gone from everyone agreeing with the most basic of technology to the most modern of technology, people with ability to have the most intense training ever, and people who maybe the Navy can't afford to have like the dog's bollocks of equipment. And yet they all agree and they all navigate the world based on it being a globe.
Totally. It's redonkulous that there would be like any kind of faking at this point in time when you're talking about war. If you were to be like, really quick, just get back into, if you were to be a soldier in any one of these countries, they're going to teach you the same thing about how the globe is a thing, because I want to say it was the American to the Mexican. I don't know. It was somebody from northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere. I think it was, I don't know. I don't remember. I think it was France and South America, but whatever. Their projectile systems were written in a thing to talk about the northern hemisphere, right? And when they went to the southern hemisphere, they had to like recalibrate 10 degrees to the east or something like that to get it to where it hit on. So once again, they had to use like the global maps.
And also every single person that's been in the army. When you do your like survival training,
Yeah.
they teach you about like measuring with like I've got my granddad's old army issue compass when he was in Korea.
Okay.
And it's got the fold out bit, it's got the little magnifying thing that flips up and the line to measure the horizon and the ruler on the side.
You know it's fake. Stop it.
Like,
So, yeah.
it's got all that shit. Now, you're telling me that they're training every single person in the army to navigate the globe differently to everyone else. So if they're ever stuck somewhere where they don't have, like, they have to survive with just what they've got, they use that. Or every single person that has become a fan of going hiking, going like, not so you see now on YouTube and shit, people go, oh, we're trekking from like the top of America down to the bottom of America, we're going this way, that way, which way, every way. And yet you're telling me that they're managing to do that either with the wrong information and are still getting where they're meant to go, or they have somehow figured out the flat earth way to navigate long distances and are just saying nothing.
Yeah, so
every single person in the army says nothing.
So really quick, just to prove exactly what you're talking about, Vila, and so we can get a little bit further into this. When I was in the Boy Scouts as a teenager, they would take us into some place, put us in the wilderness, and they would give us somewhat of a like kind of a map, kind of a thingy-bobber, but they would give us coordinates that we had to use our compass to figure out. And so we had to line things up and blah, blah, blah. And because you're in a thick forest, it was very, very difficult to see where the sun was. And usually they would put you in a place between 10 to 11 to, 2 p.m. So the sun was very, very high in the sky, and it was hard to tell exactly where you were when it was directly above you. So we learned how to use the compass to actually find locations and stuff. How does that work on a flat earth if these coordinates don't work or these things don't line up? Like, how do you make them line up with every, like you said, a compass? A compass is not calibrated to wherever the heck you are. There are other instruments that are calibrated to where you are on the earth that we will talk about later, but not a compass. And your guiding sight, and there's a couple other things on a compass that can make it easier for you to find the way you're going. And when you're a teenager and you figure that out, it's amazing to actually show up where you're supposed to, especially when you think you're going to die in the middle of like the desert or something, even though everybody's watching you and it's not that scary. But anyways, let's keep blowing on.
On the new warships, I would imagine are just off the charts advanced compared to what we had 20 years ago in the early 2000s when I was doing deployments for the Navy. We're looking at the scope of the radar. Now, this is just going off of the actual screen that we can see. Now there's three different screens. There's the basic radar screen where we have this limited scope. It only goes out like 25 miles, right? Then there's this other bigger screen, and I forgot the name of it, but it's like it goes onto this huge projection in the Combat Information Center. Basically, is where all of the information is housed. And on this huge screen, we can actually zoom out.
Yeah, I know.
If your life was the
information center,
screen,
all the
you wouldn't
information is
fucking
housed.
forget the name.
Did he just say that?
I know. And that, once again, he's saying certain things that are telling us that he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Now you see why Flurfers give me a headache.
He was the jizz mopper in the back of the fucking, hallway.
You guys know, I'm pretty fucking well known with how bad my memory is, right? You guys know I can literally forget something I've said like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but
now,
when you're talking about something
I used to have to remember my... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I used to have to remember the car registration, right? For my mum, when we went travelling a lot for athletics, going into hotels and that, because here you have to give the car registration when you go into a hotel, right? I was 11. I still remember the whole car registration the make and color of the car because I
Yeah.
said it so much. I don't remember my childhood, but I remember that because I had to say it so often. It is ingrained in my memory. That would be a core memory for him as well, having worked there. It would be in the back of his head, just instinctual. Yes.
Well,
you may have
once
a brain thought and be like, oh God, what is it? What is it? That. But like it's not something you forget. So I don't believe he was one of the people working on those fucking machines who doesn't remember it.
If you were about ready to go on an interview and somebody told you they wanted to interview about something about the thingy-mabobber that we were talking about, what would you do? You would go over it over and over again in your head about what you were going to do. You'd be like, okay, so what happened was we went to that one thing. I did that one thing and then I did that other thing. And yeah, there was that prostitute, and the cocaine, never mind. Don't tell them that. And then after that was, no, right? You would go through, right? You would go through what you wouldn't go into that. That's why I said earlier, he's leaving out the wrong things to let us know that he's faking this bullshit, right? He's like, oh, I can't remember this, but if you tell me about this fucking switch over here, oh, I remember that there's the red line and the blue and you purple and you put them together and then I can turn it on and that works. But I don't remember that system over here. You're like, okay.
I remember this obscure story.
Yeah, exactly.
About the guy bringing down this book. And I remember the name of the book title. And it's an abbreviation of the name of the book title too. And I remember the mathematical equation, but I don't remember the name of the computer screen that I had to look at every single fucking day. All right,
or what other people did that was actually associating themselves with what they're talking about or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, you're giving us the wrong information at the wrong time, which proves to us just like if we were in a court, that would be inadmissible in court because you just fed us a bunch of bullshit.
He's saying absolutely everything by saying nothing.
Exactly. And that's what you do when you're in front of a police officer and you're trying to get out of having sex with a hooker and being caught in your car or, like getting done in an alleyway by somebody else or something, or smoking crack or something. No, it was the thing about the others, it's just deflection. So, yeah.
Out and see a significant portion of our area of responsibility. I can't say the exact number. Again, a lot of this is classified. Basically, when we zoom out onto this large projectile screen, it goes in and out, right? So
didn't he say he doesn't work for the government anymore? Or did I mistake that?
No, I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Okay, so if
all this shit, that's why he's keeping his name private.
But he just said he can't. He just said he can't tell us numbers because he's working for the government, and he can't divulge that. If you're not working for the government anymore, you can technically divulge it, and there are other loopholes into some of these other.
Actually, that depends on the clearance. My buddy Fred was
could be for like 5 years or something.
Well,
because
no. My buddy Fred was a gunny sergeant in the Marines, and he went to a lot of places where he never was.
Yeah.
He can't say anything ever.
Okay.
He will go to jail. So it just depends on what clearance it is.
Okay, I get you. I still don't believe this douche nozzle has any of those clearances.
Yeah, no.
But very, very, very nice people.
Yes.
I got work in the morning, and I'm already falling asleep, so.
Good night.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you all good night. It was fun hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, night.
Voice chat was also really good. We can use more people there, though. Even more.
I don't know. You guys talk over each other a lot. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Why?
Because you don't like Borderlands 2.
Yeah, it's just that me game.
I enjoy, but we'll find something to play with each other on, or
Giggity.
Night, brainless.
Night, hon.
Night.
Rover Mom, I swear mine was 304-782-3872. I think that was our phone number growing up.
Yeah, I can't even
I can remember
much.
my phone number from when I was like 3.
Nice.
But I can't remember a phone number I had 3 years ago.
Well,
that's
that's
'cause our
because you
phones
have
are
it
numbered
tattooed.
for it.
It's because you
That's
have
not
it tattooed on you.
That's not your fault. Yeah. No, I actually have not used that phone number since right after I turned 18. So,
wow.
Not bad. 33 years ago.
And we have NCIS in the chat, and they say one would be surprised who we watch. So thank you for watching us.
By the
Like
way,
I said, old
NCIS,
folks
you'll
can't
need to be
hang.
careful with how you whip them sunglasses off. You're going to blind someone one day.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's keep blowing on.
Yeah, you
The reason
better.
why
We'll
we're
never
able
get
to
through
zoom
this.
in and then pull back out is just for accuracy. So if we're looking at something that could just be like a buoy in the water, right? You know, just one of the little tiny buoys that the ships can use as kind of placements to track where they're going. That can be mistaken for an actual like small watercraft. So we have to be able to differentiate between that and some of the ship that we're looking for, because some of the deployments we're on, we're out there looking for drug ships, we're looking for other types of ships, submarines, basically just to keep a track of everything. That's basically what the Navy and Coast Guard do. They want to make sure that they know what's going on in the seas, and that's kind of the way the United States Navy operates. They're basically dictating what happens in international waters.
Of course we are. We're awesome. We're the biggest and baddest.
So what he's
Just saying
major.
that American Navy is dictating open
What
water.
happens in international waters?
Well,
Yeah, well, there's no rules, basically.
Well, and not just that, but the main thing that he is talking about is they patrol a circumference of sea while they're going through it. He's pretending that they're watching international waters at all times, where no, you know why they have 120 freaking naval ships out in the oceans right now? Because all of them only cover this much. And that's what his brain doesn't understand. He's only seeing them going over this much stuff.
Yeah, he's not looking at the big picture.
Yeah, if you can't see, what I'm doing is just making a circle in an area, and they can't look outside of that, right?
Yeah.
They can ask people in other places to look at other things to have them tell them what's going on around them. But he's only looking at, I'm going to guesstimate 100-mile circumference. I know he said it earlier, but I believe it was around that.
Yeah. Well,
So
they were
his
saying
brain-
the radar only goes out like one kind goes out 25 and the other kind goes out 100. So it
Yeah.
can only be 100 miles. So it can only be a total of 200 miles across.
Yeah, and then what they're doing is they're going to ping stuff, and they're going to have other people look into something. So if they have an object that they don't know what it is, and they're worried about it, or they have questions about it, what they do is they ask a helicopter, they ask somebody else to come into that area and look at it as well, or ask permission to get closer to look at it. So this gentleman only understands the concept of them being in this circle area of whatever.
The
which-
Navy would just send out 2 pilots off their aircraft carrier and have them go look at it, honestly.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of getting at, but I don't want to divulge exactly what I know, even though that's like not secret. But yeah, exactly. They would. That's what I was getting at. They'd send somebody up to go look at it right quick. But not just that. When they're looking at the instruments that he is talking about, none of that technically uses global positioning. Sorry. On the instruments, it does not look like there's a curve anywhere. A lot of these things are 2D or 3D, 2D or just color systems, which they showed earlier, right?
Yes.
So to him, there's nothing showing there is a curve, because on the instruments, there doesn't need to be a reason why they're going to show anything that makes it look like there's a curve, because that's not what's important. What's important is
curve on Google Maps fucking either. It doesn't mean it's not there.
well, that exactly, Tamali.
I think that their brains are skewed about how big the Earth really is. And so because they look at it and it looks flat, they're like, oh,
Size
it's flat.
matters.
You know, it's flat. It's just not realistic though. You know, I can't remember
way they might understand.
Huh?
So you know when you see a girl and it looks like she's completely and utterly flat chested, right? It looks like she is fucking ironing board flat, right? But then when you get up to her and you see the side profile, you see she's rocking a little A cup, you know, there's a little mound there, itty bitty, but it's still there. That's
Sure,
like
yeah,
the vibe.
yeah.
It looks flat because of perspective, but the curve is still there.
Damn, Vila just gotta put all my shit out there, huh?
Oh shit! Sorry. I could do it with a pregnant preggy belly. Head on. Some women they don't get pregnant. They could be 9 months pregnant, and if they're wearing the right outfit, right distance, you don't see it. Turn around, but bam, belly.
Yeah. No. The whole reason why sleight of hand and a misdirection works is because your brain sees certain things in a certain way, in certain lighting, in certain objects, certain angles, certain other things, right? And so your brain is going to want to see things the way they want to, and that's why magic works. So if you are looking for the flat, you're going to see the flats. But if you're looking for sorry, I'm not going to say that because I never look for a curve. Every time I was on the ocean or around places that I was really high up, I always saw a curve that I thought. That was my first thingy-bobber. And then I started laughing when I found out there were people that believed in the flat earth. And I said, how can we debunk this? How can I go through to figure out how to make these idiots fucking look like dumbasses is pretty much what I did. Because once again, I'm a carny. I was taught how to take money out of people's pockets. I was taught how to be a grifter. But instead of being a grifter nowadays, I would rather show you a real show or give you this kind of content. And if you want to throw me money, awesome. If not, I don't really care. We're just doing this for the fuck of it. But I want to expose the people who are trying to take your money, which is by using false narratives and debate tactics to convince people who, I don't want to say aren't smart. They just are being led in the wrong direction. They may be a 19-year-old who's questioning reality, and that's how you fall into a cult. It's really easy to fall into a cult when you're questioning reality and you don't know what's really going on, and you want to believe sci-fi is real. And see, that's a major thing that sucks when you're younger and you grow up. Even in Greek mythology, even in old world, you want to believe there's Pegasuses and there's unicorns and there's fairies and there's all these fun things the way that they say they are, right? And then you say, shit, not all of that is exactly all of this fun stuff. Okay, crap. The unicorn is actually an antelope, or there are things that are connected kind of, but they're not exactly what you were told. Santa isn't this jolly guy that actually gives you gifts.
I know what that one is. The unicorn thing came with unicorn horns coming from Norway, narwhal horns.
Yeah, so there's either that or there's the ibex or whatever in the savannas, and when they stand a certain way, which I've seen.
And selling them as unicorn horn.
That was the selling of them, but there's the ibex in the savannah, and I went to wild nature parks or whatever around here, and when they would actually stand off into the sunset or around and they'd stand sideways, there was 20-30 fucking unicorns. So you could totally see why this seemed to be like a thing, because they have the wrapping horn, the horn that has the whatever that looks like a unicorn, and they're white, and especially when they stand against the sunset, that it looks like these glowing fucking beings that are sitting in front of this landscape with a unicorn.
Yeah, they're beautiful. If you hit them from the right angle, they literally look like they have one horn. You're right.
Yeah, and even in like I said, in the sunset, even if maybe they aren't standing 100%, they lose one. Or again, you just see fucking all these beings that are just these beautiful creatures. But yes, you're correct, Vila. There were people that were taking the horns of these Antarctic beings or whatever from the ocean and selling their horns, just like they did with a bunch of other things. I mean, there were so many things that they freaking did that they sold that was
they
like
sold it for
not
medicine
the right word.
and things like that. Because unicorns were a symbol of purity. Because apparently unicorns would only approach virgins.
Yes.
People that were pure, like this is medieval mythos kind of thing. So they were very. They're a sim to have one would be like, look how pure I am. I've managed to get this thing. Medical wise, I don't know why there was some medicinal value to it. Fuck all knows. But they were so valuable that if a Viking actually managed to get a narwhal horn to sell, they would be rich.
Yeah,
they would be set for life. It was so valuable.
And all he had to do was just go to the African savannah, and he could have gotten a gazillion of them. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm a dick. Because they're the same thing almost. I mean, literally, like they're almost comparable. Anyways, let's go on a little bit further into this nonsense, and then we will figure out something to close out. We'll do a palate cleanser of some kind. Just give me a second to figure that out.
Fuck that.
Okay, so now they're saying that flatness shows flatness of the flatness of the flatness. I don't know what's going on exactly right now. So anonymous. Okay, hold on. We have to go over this. This is really freaking fast. Anonymous affidavito. Submarine radio man. So this douche nozzle is going to be anonymous as well, and he says he's a radio man. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, folks, if you are a radio man inside a submarine, how much technology are you going to know about their radar system and or any other system outside of? Okay, really quick, not putting down anybody who knows radio stuff, but how are you going to know about the shape of the Earth through being inside of a submarine doing radio? My stepdad was a person who works in submarines, but I don't know the correlation of you being in a submarine and being a radio man and you knowing the shape of the Earth. Because you didn't work on the radar system, which is the pinging system that showed what the shape of the Earth would be through that system of that, right? All you did was just call in and out of you talking about something. If I'm wrong, call me the fuck out. That's what I always say on these things. If I ever do anything wrong, if I ever fuck up on any shit, please call me the fuck out, because I'm not here to be like the know-it-all of anything. Like, I literally am the dumbass that just brings up questions when we bring these things.
Whatever, bro.
So, not to be a dick, but the radio person probably does not have any proof of the globe through what they're using in their technology, right?
What the anonymous aficionado?
That's what I'm saying. Like
he's an aficionado of Anonymous, the hacker group. An aficionado is someone that isn't a professional thing.
Yeah, of course. No,
it's a non-professional thing. Aficionado, it'll be
someone who enjoys it and knows a lot about it because they enjoy it. Right.
Yeah.
So
he's refusing to give his identity. He's an aficionado, which means he's a hobbyist.
Yeah.
Submarine radio man.
So he could not even be involved in any kind of fucking submarine activity. Maybe he could be. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was getting at before we got into it. I was trying to call it the bullshit before we got into it. So everybody take that first and then listen to what this motherfucker has to say.
Yep. quickly, I found the picture of an ibex with that either has only one horn or look like it has one horn. I sent it in the side chat if you want to show it.
Oh, is that what that? Okay, okay.
If you want to show it there.
And see, the other thing about this is, like I was getting at, and I will definitely. So we'll stop sharing that for just a second. And we'll share this. The other thing that I was getting at is what some of the fairy tales and some of the other things were, is the sun was like rising or beaming their light on these beings, and they're unicorns because they're pure spirits and stuff. So I will hopefully find a photo of like the sun setting behind them, but this is exactly what. There may have been people in the ancient times that saw this, and it was something that they could believe was a unicorn, or an animal that was close to this type of horn.
What if we saw an albino one?
Well, see, that was the thing, is there must have been albino ones.
Yeah,
and so those might have.
They're not going to know from a distance.
Yeah, and if the sun was shining in the right way, it would make it look. Yeah, and like supposedly, like the glowy fur could have happened from sun. Certain, like there's always anomalies that happen once or three times in the existence, and it's the what's-it-macalls that we say, Newton's law. If it's gonna happen, it will happen, right? So eventually somebody's going to see something that looks like something that is in the right light and a different thing, and like not Loch Ness Monster, Yeti, a ghost, other things. I'm not saying none of them are real. I'm just saying that certain people see things in a certain instance where they may believe they're seeing something that may not be there.
So unicorn things, there's a lot of like law with it in the UK.
Yeah, well, and Scotland has it on their flag or something, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
they
that
have it on? It's like Scotland, England.
It's one of their animals or the
Yeah,
national animals,
Scotland
right?
especially. But what else is in Scotland that it's very well known? There's a lot of
Sheep.
deer.
Okay.
Sheep. Uh-oh.
I thought it was sheep.
No, that's Wales. That's Wales.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's where I keep getting all those photos from.
Yeah, Scotland is known for the Aberdeen Angus cows. Although, funny enough, the Welsh
she said
say that
deer.
the Irish are sheep shaggers.
Oh, that's where my uncle's from.
Like the Welsh say it's someone else. Like they all say call each other sheep shaggers.
Okay.
Weird,
So what type of deer?
Yeah, deer.
What type of deer? Because Beck and I are very interested in this.
So
a female deer.
Stags shed their antlers, right?
Yeah, I know.
And that there's a deformity that stags can get that causes their antlers to actually just grow straight.
Yeah,
instead of getting the curves and the little tree bit branches coming off, right?
Yeah, we've heard of
now,
yeah.
So back then, now we cull those deers the second we see them, right? Because we know it's dangerous. Those deers will kill the other deer, we know those stags will kill the other stags during rutting season because they will just impale them. Back then, they didn't get killed. So you would see them maybe lasting a lot longer than they do now. So imagine seeing a deer with one antler from a distance, and it may or may not have shed one of those horns, antlers.
Yeah,
that is a logical thing as well, and that's why no one sees them because they're so skittish. Deer run the fuck away from people.
So that's the main thing. Is there's so many examples and reasons why we may see something like a unicorn or something that seemed to be something like that.
Yeah.
So let's just go a little bit further into this, and then we'll end the night.
U.S. Navy how they prove it. Not live.
Because one more time, my stepdad was a submariner, and he worked on submarines and or other thingy-bobbers, and I constantly was on naval ships and all this fun stuff and looked at all the equipment. I was a nobody at the time, but how am I gonna like look at stuff that I can see firsthand and it's faking something for something and something? Like there's no way the government's gonna spend the gazillions of dollars to make these things work if they don't work, right?
I was just laughing at that.
I'm sorry, what was it?
Someone said, now the sheep are in New Zealand. It was New Zealand that invented Velcro gloves.
To keep the
Danish,
sheep
being
from
the
getting away.
badass bitch that she is,
Yeah.
straight away,
Department of the Navy as a
Velcro gloves so the sheep can't get away.
Exactly. God
Why
damn
is
it,
everyone
Danish.
being so sensationalizing sheep? Why is it sheep that everyone is fighting? Why not cows or horses or like? Why always sheep?
It's because sheep are just the
height. Cows
it's
are.
just they're just the right height. That's what you
Okay.
don't got to bend over. You don't got to buckle your knees or nothing like that. You just get right in there. All you got to do is put that lube in there, and then you go on your way. Anyways, let's
Also,
keep
you're
going.
not going to die if the sheep bucks you back, but if the horse or a cow does, then you got crushed ribs.
Yeah, and son of a beach. Cheese and rice. Okay, let's keep going. So I believe this gentleman is going to pretend that he's going to
a
tell
lot
us.
of thought put into this.
No, I just grew up on a farm. I know how dangerous those animals can be. Fuck that for a laugh.
And so does Brainless, but he's not here to. Never mind.
Out a little.
No.
Don't know why. They just make me nervous.
I grew up on a
Harry.
ranch.
Why do you know that?
That's what happens when you're around those type of animals. You know what I'm saying?
I guess
Over here.
so. Harry must be a farmer guy, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so this gentleman. We'll talk about that later.
Go ahead, Slim.
No, we won't.
Slim said so.
I'll tell you how to rodeo a calf. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so this person is going to tell us what they were on the ship. So everybody, let's listen to what he says was his position on the ship.
Due to the nature
Or-
of my job and the security clearance that I hold, I wish to
Submarine.
remain anonymous.
Is that
I've
all?
worked for the U.S. Department of the Navy as a submarine quality assurance specialist for the last 5 years.
He was a
Quality
quality
and assurance specialist.
What does that mean to everybody? Everybody just say
That means
bullshit.
that
us.
he makes sure the equipment that they get is good and that it runs well.
Yeah. Somebody
Some
in
kind
the
of
side
Kill
chat.
their butt. Kill their butt. Sorry.
Thank you. No, so all he did was he sat on the fucking the mainland, right? He picked his nose until a submarine came in. He went over and looked at it and said, "Is that okay?" And then he went back onto the mainland and he picked his nose more. That's all he did. He never went on any type of submarine missions. They may have taken him out. From what I've heard from multiple people that worked in the Navy, they would take those people out for like an hour or two out into the ocean, show them equipment worked in certain situations, and brought them back onto land. That motherfucker never went on real freaking missions. He's never said he actually went out into the ocean, has he?
No, Harry. If it was supply, they'd just call you supply. All the military does. Quality and
Yeah.
assurance is a different beast.
Yeah, that's when they just have you
Quality
make
assurance is like the people, like product tester.
They just make sure that those things work the way they're supposed to in certain circumstances.
What does that mean? He's one of the people that get to do the stamp saying it's army grade, which basically means it's shit.
Yeah, yeah. They take it out into the ocean for like an hour, and they make sure that the burner works, and they make sure that they can cook food. They make sure the oxygen levels are doing the right thing. It's just making sure the submarine does what it's supposed to inside the specs,
Well,
and then they bring it back.
He has it separate, not even having to be on a boat or in a submarine. They test a lot of these things in not laboratory
but he said
you get what I mean, but
but he said,
in a control room where they've got
on the submarine though.
Yeah, where they've got a pressure chamber and all these things where they can test them individually before they go on the submarine. He could be in that department for all we know.
No, I'm saying he said he's on the submarine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. So
He's
he did admit
on the submarines.
But once again,
on a real one or the ones that go in the swimming pool.
Oh, Vila, come on now.
I'm being a dick. I'm sorry.
Clearly, he lives in a yellow submarine. He lives in a yellow submarine.
But once again, like I was saying earlier, my stepdad was on these things with these people, and that's what they said they did. That's what I was told from him. They would bring on these people to check the specs, to check the equipment. They would take them on a certain thing, go to a certain level, show them certain things, take them back up, bring them back, and they would check off that these things did the right things under these certain circumstances. So, yes, you're right, Vila. There were people that did that in their little contained units when they were doing the things to make up the thingamabobbers. But the quality control, whatever he said, sorry, I'm drunk.
So Globalman has got the definition for us.
Sure.
So it says,
go ahead and read it.
The Q&A department ensures that all maintenance and repair actions performed by qualified personnel conform to applicable plans, standards, and specs for submarine maintenance and modernization programs.
Yeah. So usually once the thing got fixed and or updated, they would take it out in the ocean, and that person would go in there and look at all the specs and make sure like nothing was leaking and that it was ready to go out to surface again or to go out on another mission. Once again, almost firsthand, not being in the Navy, that was kind of walked through this as a teenager. And if anybody, if I'm wrong with anything, you call me the fuck out, because like that's not what exactly. So right, we're there. So let's just do a tiny bit more, and then we'll get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
My job is to ensure that each submarine is built properly, safely, and to the engineer's plan. I have an intimate knowledge of every aspect of each submarine being built in the shipyard I work in.
So you got to do with Flat Earth.
Now that you heard a little bit of my...
Sorry, keep going.
But again, just because you know the back end of it does not mean you've ever used it.
What'd you forget?
Practically out into the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a different...
And even if he did, what the fuck's it matter with Flat Earth? What the fuck's a submarine guy gonna tell you? Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, when you're under the ocean, like, how does that help the globe? I mean, whatever.
Background, let me explain how I arrived at the crazy notion that the Earth is visibly and observably flat.
Because you're underwater?
Reality around me since I was little. I never followed anything mainstream.
What do you still have to navigate according to the globe?
Yeah, and of course, that definitely has to be a thing for submarines. And once again, he's just sputtering out stuff that is just propaganda and nothing that actually proves anything. We have not heard anything that are specs, math, equations, angles, anything that has proved anything, that has given us anything to disprove the globe model. it's just him pretending that he's saying that he doesn't understand this because of whatever. And once again, we've proven this gazillions and times. Really, really smart people are dumb.
Right.
Just because you understand one type of science or math or physics or something, it doesn't mean that like you're not going to get robbed on the street because somebody says, "Hey, I need $5," and you're like, "Oh, I only got 100. Hey, I'll bring you back your change," and you give them the $100. You know, like that. You know, there's street smarts and there's like other smarts. So just because you're fucking other, you know, like this type of smart doesn't mean you're others. This guy understands how to like test equipment to make sure that there's no flaws in it, but he doesn't know how to run the equipment and like show that it's working on a large scale.
And what the news had to say. As I got older, I started looking into more and more things out of my own curiosity. 9/11.
What's really scary is people in the military believe in a lot of conspiracy theories.
School shootings. I eventually started researching the moon landing because it just never set well with me. And it didn't take long for me to completely unravel that for the hopes that it is.
I don't believe this dude at all.
After that, I was starting to realize that we had been lied to on so many levels. What else could there possibly be? Then I saw a video about the flat earth pop up on my YouTube recommendations. At first, even with my awakened mind, I thought this was absolutely ridiculous. I decided that I'd look into it simply to disprove it and move on. It should be easy, right?
I kind of feel like you've been saying several times, "Oh, we'll just do a little bit and then end it." And like we can go on for like, yeah, I think it's like, yeah, this feels like we kind of finished this topic, and so maybe it's time to end stream. I don't know.
Sure. I'll agree with you because we'll just keep going because we are going to eventually get through it eventually.
Yeah.
Son of a beach. But I hear you. It's just getting to the idiocracy of he's, and what we'll probably do when we come back to this, we'll probably go further than him because once again, we just for like an hour pretty much just heard him say the same goddamn crap over and over again. So thank you, Micro, for calling that out. So thank you all very much for being here and everybody on the panel. If there's anything anybody wants to say before we get out of here, do it right now. Sweet.
Just everybody meet us in the dungeon.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for the great stream, Slim. It was great hanging out with you guys.
We'll be there for a little bit of time, and then I finally have the house to myself. So after a little bit of hanging out in the dungeon, me and the king are disappearing.
Yes, we are. We need the time.
Queen, could you check DM in Discord?
All right, honey.
So, thank you all very much. I don't have anything planned for tomorrow exactly. We may do like something. I'm thinking about maybe doing something about Nick Fuentes, but like, I don't know yet. Maybe Queen, maybe have something. I know he's been doing some really horrible crap, and like I've been wanting. But anyways, Wednesday we're gonna be doing a drunk news report, and it's gonna be over mushroom computer chips. A person who was born with a 9-inch tail, a bunch of other.
I actually know somebody who has a tail as well.
Yeah. So
it's not 9 inches, but I mean, it's a good.
It's a third. Queen, we don't want to hear about some third leg.
No.
That's far greater than 9 inches, and that's on the that's on the front of his body, not the back.
Yes.
And a bunch of hearing about that.
Yes, we'll talk about that in VC. But there's a bunch of other crazy fun things we're gonna go over as well on Wednesday. So we'll see you all over there. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you in the next stream. Bye.
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 Bye.